Fellow tennis nerds, another windy day here in Marbella. It's sun is shining, but it's windy, so it's a little bit annoying to play tennis. I got a question about spin rackets, like which ones should I consider? What are the differences between the most popular ones? So I have the most popular ones here, the Bavla Pure Aero latest edition, 2023 edition. I have the latest Extreme MP, which is the same spec range, and I have the V-Core 100, and that's from Yonex. And the Aero is changed a bit along with the Extreme. They're both denser in the string bed, has a bit more dampening. The Aero, the Extreme is a bit more direct. The feeling is more connected perhaps, but it's also a little bit harsher in feeling. I'm not saying it's bad for the arm, but it's a little bit more, you know where the ball is going. That is not always everyone's cup of tea. So in dampening, in terms of dampening for these frames, I would say the Yonex is the most dampened. It's almost too dampened. It's like very soft, very cushiony, quite powerful, quite spinny. So that would be on the most extreme end of these rackets. The Aero is in the middle, quite dampened, better comfort than the previous generation, better control thanks to the denser string pattern, but you get less power and spin compared to the previous generation. The Extreme, the most direct feel, the most control, a little bit more difficult to use than perhaps the other two, I would say, because you get less. But for you players who are playing with spin, want a bit more help, but you need control, the Extreme MP is the most control of these three. So control, a little bit more power, and then the most power. Those are the three different scenarios with these rackets. So if you're looking for control in a spin racket, you can definitely go for an Extreme Tour or a Pure Aero 98. But those are a bit more difficult to use. But if you like a 100 square inch option that suits a wide variety of tennis players, I would consider one of these three. For most dampening, most power, go for the latest V-Core 100. For a kind of an in-between response, which is a bit middle of the line, you should go with the new Aero. That's probably my favorite of these two. Really like the response of the new Aero. My favorite Aero so far, even though it's up against these kind of legends like the original Aero that Rafa still uses, or the 2013 GT, which is a lot of players love. Extreme MP also very good, very connected. I feel like that it works the best on my one-hander. That could be a me thing, but I just want to let you know. Comes to serves and stuff like that, I mean, the most power is the Yonex racket, but I think the Aero provides good power. The Extreme, you need to work a little bit harder to get power, but then can obviously be tuned, adding weight, changing strings, changing string tension, lowering that for more power. Always consider those options before you go for a new racket. I think that is generally a good idea. You can always tweak your racket quite a lot before you move into buying a new racket. So those are my impressions of these three spin rackets. They have separate reviews on the channel, so check that out. Thanks to my sponsor Faciolo Balls for sponsoring this video. They have the singles playbook where you can learn patterns of play, how to beat counter punchers, serve and volleyers, aggressive baseliners, and so on. And it's all accompanied by a video, each chapter in this playbook. So I can really recommend that. Check it out, the link is in the description. I also want to announce that our app is finally out on Android. So you can check it out, our Unstrung Nerds app, where you can learn more about different strokes, backhands, forehands, match play, rackets, stringing. It's all gonna be there. We have a community in the app. It's on App Store and Google Play Store, so check it out, download it. You have 7-day free trial before we charge you anything. And we aim to keep uploading more and more content. We actually have a lot in the pipeline already recorded. We also want your feedback. What kind of lessons would you like to see from Nikki? So fellow tennis nerds, today we have three spin rackets because I got the question, what are the difference between the spin rackets, the V-Core 100 from Yonex, the Head Extreme MP, and the Bavla Pure Aero. These three are very similar specs. They're all spin rackets, spin and power. So yeah, I'm gonna hit with them, comment a bit on them, and hopefully clears out some confusion of what is what. So let's have a go. Starting with the update to the Pure Aero. Denser pattern on this one. If you've seen my review, you know it. Otherwise, have a look at the review. Better in my opinion. Some people got less power, a little bit less spin potential, but more control. But like it has less power and a little bit less spin potential than the predecessor. Vamos! So for me, one of the best arrows, maybe the best arrow they've done. I think a lot people are nostalgic about the older arrows, 2013, the original. You know, I've done that too in my videos. But I think this one offers a lot of nice playability. Yeah, so this is high on my liking list, the new arrow. We now try the V-Core. A lot more dampened. They changed the mold, which gotta give Yonex for always changing the mold. I think that's important that they try something. Let's move it. Yeah, so this one is more muted, has even more lift on the ball, I would say. But overall, nice improvement. If you want more dampening, I think this is good. Woo! If you want more of everything, thanks to the isometric head shape, this is the way to go. Yeah, and then we go to the Extreme, which also got a denser string pattern. I think it's like Bubble had talked. What do these rackets need? Or they got the same feedback across the board. But the string bed was a bit too open. This one also has more control. I would say even more probably than the arrow. This one probably is the least powerful. With both of these options, you also can go to the team versions, which have more open string patterns. So remember that you can always go to the lighter version, customize it a bit, and then you have more launch, a bit more open pattern, because the MP and the arrow are both denser this year, which is not everyone's cup of tea, you know. Good. That is all. Have a nice day, and don't forget to play some tennis.